Hello, my name is Heidi and I'm with Perfectly Imperfect Yoga. I teach gentle and chair yoga, and I've made this video for my students to continue moving their joints when I'm not in my class. This is a joint freeing series that's seated. That being said, this can be for anyone who finds the video. Please move your joints every day, but I want to make sure that you're moving them safely. So I'll tell you the same thing I tell all of my students. So before you start moving, make sure that you're aware of any ways that you should not move your body. If you have an acute or chronic condition, check with your doctor to make sure there's certain things that you should be mindful of as you're moving. This will help you in daily life as well. Also, while you're moving, if you feel pain or get tired, feel like you need to stop, then please stop. If you're stopping due to pain, please talk to your doctor about it, okay? So always listen to your own body before you're listening to my cues. And make sure that you're practicing safely. Props. What kinds of props might you need? So the most important thing is a stable chair. Okay, we don't want rollers on the chair. Some of the movements may be a little restricted by arms, but if you need the arm rests for safety, then definitely use them. You will want to make sure you have appropriate footwear. So I have socks on, but they have sticky on the bottom. Normally, I would practice just with my bare feet, but it's a little cold out today, so I'm using my sticky socks. If you need to be, in order for you to be safe, you need to wear your shoes, then go ahead and do that. Some of the things you may need to provide yourself a little bit of extra space because of the shoes, but do what you can do safely. In addition to the chair, you may want to have something like blocks. So I have yoga blocks. You don't need them. You can use the floor. You can use a stack of books or like a big can or something, or even a stool. So find what works for you. But you don't need anything, right? You can always just use the floor. You also want to make sure that you're hydrating. So remember, you can always stop this video. So if you're hydrating and you have to get up to use the restroom, it's fine, it's a video, you can stop it, right? Stop at any time. So always make sure you're hydrated. You can stop the video at any time, you can get a drink at any time, you can stop and restart. So just continue to move and move safely. Hi, my name is Heidi and I'm with Perfectly Imperfect Yoga, and I'll now be moving into a joint freeing series for seated positions. So the first thing is we want a nice stable seated position. So we want to make sure that we have our toes forward and our knees forward and our feet are, the whole bottom of the foot is on the floor, and we're just pressing down to lift ourselves up. We don't want to go into the poses kind of the way we normally sit, right? And I sit like this sometimes too. I try not to. I try to remind myself to sit up. But when we're doing our joint freeing, we want to be in that nice lifted position with a long sides of the torso and our shoulders up, back, and down. It helps us feel more open. It helps us to get more breath into our body. So once you've found that position, Then take a breath. Take a breath in and release it out. Make sure your shoulders and your neck and your face are nice and released. We don't have to be stressed while we're practicing this. For the first movements, we'll be working with our wrists and our arms. So we'll bring our arms straight out in front of us. And then the fingers will reach down to the floor. We're bending at the wrists. And we bend at the wrists to come up. Remember, make sure that this is safe for you. Now what happens to me is I want to round forward. So I still try to sit up as much as I can while I'm doing this. Now, we make soft fists, not gripping really hard, just nice and soft, and rotate the wrists in one direction. I like to do this nice and slowly so I can really feel each part of the movement. You can see my hands don't move in time with each other on this direction. It's kind of funny. And then we go the other direction. Stop. Now we're going to rotate our entire arm all the way up to the shoulders. So that means not just our wrists, but the entire arms. Our palms are facing up and they're flat as much as we can, right? Sometimes it's not that easy. And then we're moving just the wrists. We'll bring the fingers out and in, out, in, out, and in. One more time. Out, and then we bring them forward. First two fingers come to the thumb, and we want our elbows in, our shoulders and shoulder blades down. And we just start to bend the elbows, bring them, the hands back and forward. Some people like to lift the elbows up here too as well. Just work with whatever your range of motion is. The next time the fingers come back to the shoulders, then bring the elbows out. We'll start to feel that strength in the upper back. I'll bring the elbows in and out, in and out. I can feel my shoulder blades moving toward each other and away from each other. The next time that the elbows are out, then we make cactus arms as much as we can, right? And then again, as much as we can, we're always working within our own, our body's own range of motion. And we bring the arms down and up, down and up, down and up. Remember, anytime you can stop and sort of shake everything out or pat everything out. So make sure we're still in that nice position. We inhale the arms up, and then we bring them back. Up and back. Just working with the shoulders here. We'll bring the arms back down. Remember, you can always shake them out or pat them out. You can pause this video at any time. Now, for this next one, we'll be hinging at the hips. A lot of times what we do in our daily life is we hinge at the waist or we hinge at the ribs. So here, we're going to be hinging at the hips. Only as far as you can go when you hinge at the hips. I find it's easier to hinge a little farther forward if I bring my feet out a little bit. Make sure that that's stable for you. I also like to really feel like I'm lengthened up here. Nice long spine. And then there's a couple different things you can do with your arms. You can just keep them on your hips. You can bring them out to the side. Or you can bring them out like a letter T, rotate them like we did before, and bring them up like a V, but you want the shoulder blades toward each other. And then here we go. We hinge at the hip creases. Bring the arms back if they're up. If your hands are on your hips, just keep them on your hips. If they're down, you can bring them back. Trying to feel length through the spine, both when we're sitting up and when we're hinging forward, really reaching forward, extending. And then you come back to center. So this is something that you can do maybe part of it in the morning, part of it in the afternoon, or you can do it all at once. So now, we'll lengthen up, bring the shoulders up, back, and down. You can bring the hands down, you can hold on to the sides of the chair or your hips, and just lean one to one side and the other. Right now we're moving laterally. We don't do that a lot. We're always sitting at a desk or a chair or on a couch or in the car. And back up to center. Shoulders up, back, and down. Try to make your neck really long by keeping the shoulders down and bringing the top of the head up. And then we'll look toward one side. Shoulders stay down. We look forward. Remember to make sure that this movement isn't going to cause you pain later in the day, or it doesn't cause you pain right now. Let's look to the other side. And if it does, stay within your range of motion. You want to be able to continue to move and within your range of motion tomorrow. If you go beyond that today, then maybe you won't move tomorrow. So each day, move within your own body's range of motion. You can bring your head back. Now, make sure those shoulders are up, back, and down. Nice long neck. And we'll bring one ear toward the shoulder. Both shoulders are down. Just notice where you feel this stretch. And then you can stay right here. If you want to combine the two movements that we just did, then keep your ear down like this and turn to look toward the floor. If you're like, no, that's not comfortable for me, we already did both movements, right? So you can do them both separately and just stay like this. Just notice what your body needs. If you are looking down, then bring your gaze back forward, your head back up to center. I often like to pause and just notice any difference when I've done something all on one side. I like to notice any difference from one side to the other, because it's amazing what a little bit of movement can do. All right, so we'll move the shoulders up, back, and down, lengthen the neck. Now the other ear goes toward the shoulder. And once again, we've looked both directions and our ear has kind of gone down to the shoulder. But if you want to do both at once, you can look down toward the floor. Combine the movements. If it doesn't feel safe, you've already moved both directions. It's okay. Bring the gaze back forward if you're looking down at the floor, and come on back up. Pause once again. Anytime you want, if you start to feel like you're holding on to your breath or you need a little rest, just take a breath in and release it out. Make sure you're nice and relaxed. So now we're going to send our leg out in front of us. So choose one leg Like I said, in the props section, you can use 1 or 2 yoga blocks. You can use a stack of books, a stool. You can put your foot on the floor. You can hold it up if you want, right? So just put it, whatever it is in front of you, bring that leg out. But remember that we're not just working with our ankle and our knees right now. We are working with our whole body. So remember to keep it nice and strong and lifted. Your hands can go wherever they're comfortable. And we'll point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. I like to hold it for a little while. So point and really reach forward. At this point, a lot of times I've noticed that I've kind of slowed down, so I lengthen back up. And then we'll flex the foot and hold that. Reach the heel forward, the toes are reaching upward. And that's it for that movement. If you want to shake it out and pat it out, you can. The next movement, we'll have that same leg out. We still want that strong and lengthened up position. And this time we rotate the ankle one direction. And the other. The leg down, sort of shake it. Shake the legs out if you want. Move the blocks out of the way. We're still going to use that same leg. The blocks are just going to be in the way. We'll keep them there though for the other side. Find that strong position. Sometimes even pressing down and engaging this leg can help you with balance a little bit. So send the leg out, and now we're going to externally rotate the leg all the way up to the hip, and then internally rotate the leg. So my hip is moving to turn the rest of the leg in and out. And so if you're like, okay, wow, this is a challenge, then stay here. If you think that you can keep moving your leg in and out the same way and move it out to the side, then you can add that on. But you don't want to move out to the side and not rotate the leg, right? That's the most important part. So some of these things are really complex. Then remember, you can watch this video over and over again, and you'll get more comfortable with the movements as you repeat it. We're back to center now. We take that same leg. We can lift the leg up. We're compressing our hip flexor here, that crease that we bent at, and then we're extending. We're compressing and extending. If you want to keep your foot on the floor, you can do this like this and then extend out, right? So always working within your range of motion as closely to what we're doing here as you can. Doesn't have to be exact. Once again, if you want, you can shake the legs out, pat them out. Move over to the other side. And remember, you can be on blocks. You don't have to. You can have your foot up. You can use something else instead of blocks. Maybe even a stack of towels, right? Anything that elevates your foot, if that's what's comfortable for you. All right, pressing down, lifting up. We go through the whole thing again on this side. Point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. I like to hold, so really reach forward, lengthen the top of the head up. We'll see if you can get that whole back of your body nice and long. Back of the leg, the glutes, back. And then flex the foot, reach the heel forward. And release. You can shake it out, pat it out if you want. Send that same leg back out. Just make sure you're sitting nice and strong and tall. Rotating the ankle one direction. And the other. Now we're going to use these blocks again, or whatever it is you have. So just make sure it's out of your way for this leg, but don't put it away entirely yet, okay? So that leg goes out, and we're rotating the hip, and rotating it in, out, and in. You can add some outward movement, and then inward movement, as long as you keep doing that rotation as well, right? Otherwise, we practice right here until it feels safe, right? And maybe go out a little bit. You can do it slower than I'm doing it. Listen to your body, and then come on back. Bring our knee up, compressing the hip flexor, compressing the knee a little bit, extending up. You can even hold on if you want, and out. Some of my students, I sometimes see them put a little block here, right, to help them keep it up so they're still compressing, but they don't have to hold the leg up. For me, it gets in the way. I knock it over. And down. Now, our support, whatever it is, if we have support, is right in front of us. We want to make sure that we're nice and in the center of the chair. You can hang on to the side of the chair, and we bring both legs out. And so this is one of them. If you have shoes, you might want to bring your feet farther apart than I do, right? Because the shoes will get in the way. But we bring the soles of the feet toward each other. Do they have to come all the way to touch each other? No. I've been doing this for a long time, and I worked toward this. So just bring them toward each other and then apart. Toward and apart. Just notice where you feel that, right? Oh my goodness, I don't feel this in most of my day, so it feels so good. And we'll just do that one more time. And back. There we go. Now we can put those blocks away. Make sure they're out of the way because we're going to go out to the side right now. So, once again, nice and strong. We'll just externally rotate one hip, bring it back, moving. One more time. And then the other side. Remember, you can always pause in the middle. Noticing the difference from one side to the other, and then we externally rotate. And one more time. fingering your hands like a W. Really try to lengthen up, right? We're sitting down in the chair and we're lifting up out of it. And we reach up. Feel the length through the side of the torso. And now we reach the arms out. I like to feel the shoulder blades coming toward each other, feel strong in the upper back. And reach out. And then squeeze in, but we're not rounding forward. We're still nice and up. And out. And in. I like to change which arm is on top when I'm doing this. Little exercise for the brain as well. We've got to remember which arm was on top just a few seconds ago. Woo. And down. So I hope that you feel like you've moved everything from the feet all the way up through the top of the head. Encourage you to drink some water, to take some deep breaths. And I hope that this video has helped you feel better. If you like this kind of movement, you're welcome to do this video as many times as is safe for you. You can also look for chair yoga classes in your area or look for my chair yoga classes. They're both online and in person. And my name is Heidi and I'm with Perfectly Imperfect Yoga. I'm so glad that you came here and spent some time taking care of yourself today. Thank you so much.